Timpson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And can I begin just by echoing much of the comments made by my honourable and learned friend, the still chair of the Justice Select Committee, the member for Bromley and Chislehurst. And in doing so, can I pay my respects to him and his leadership of that committee over the best part of a decade. We see so much change and churn in this place. To have his knowledge, his experience, his humanity, his enthusiasm and his ability to actually get things done, to make the Justice Select Committee, which I've been privileged to be a member of for the last 18 months, to bring change, positive change, in many aspects of the justice world. And I have no doubt in whatever he does next in his own professional career, he will continue to make really great waves for those who are touched in some way by the justice system. And part of that work has included, as my honourable and learned friend has said, is the coronial system. And for the second time, I think the first was 2011, and more recently this and last year, looking at all aspects of the coronial system, not least the impact that COVID has had on the ability for it to function in the way that we all would want it to. And the Minister is right with the approach he's taken today, the pragmatic approach, to provide some breathing space, some capacity within the coronial system, so that many of those cases that need to be moved through that court in a timely and compassionate way are able to do so. There are, of course, as has been alluded to, many other issues that need to be addressed. And I very much hope that, unfortunately, due to the sudden end to this Parliament, that the great work that we were doing and the report that we were on the very cusp of producing for the government to respond to will still be in the form, I think, of correspondence that has gone to ministers in the department, be looked at carefully in the next 6 weeks by ministers who will still be in their place, as well as officials who, whatever hue the next government happens to be, can put it straight onto the table of the next minister, hopefully still my honourable friend sitting on the front bench, so that we don't lose any of the momentum that hopefully the report will be able to achieve. I give way.
And Select Committee colleague, allow me very briefly to say, can I also agree with him what he's just said about the chairman of the Select Committee, who's also in this place. Of course, he's a good, everyone knows he's a good friend of mine. We co-chair the Miscarriages of Justice group together. He has been a brilliant champion for miscarriages, and I hope you will agree with him that we have here someone who we're going to miss dreadfully in the House of Commons, and indeed what will the House of Commons do with Bob and I both standing down?
Well, the honourable gentleman, the honourable friend, for the purposes of today, was my very first Select Committee chair back in 2008 when I joined the Children's Schools and Families Select Committee, and a sort of baptism of fire, as it turned out. So I've been fortunate to have a number of excellent chairs to be part of their committee over the years, and I also wish him well in what comes next in his varied but very colourful life that I'm sure he has ahead of him. But there is some of the detail that sits behind this statutory instrument that really does need to have the continued attention of ministers and the Minister of Justice. My honourable and learned friend touched on the need to look at the potential unification of the service, the funding model, how it's resourced. We don't want to imperil the rule of law by making the service unworkable. The need potentially for an inspectorate so we know actually how well it's functioning. And as the Minister quite rightly said, making sure that we put bereaved families at the very heart of that process. So I do hope that this measure that has been taken today will be part of enabling many of those changes to take hold in the ensuing years. Now, Mr. Speaker, you'll know that this is my second time round, often unfortunately called a retread in Parliament, but unlike Arnold Schwarzenegger, this time I won't be back. This is my last time that I will be standing up in this place. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you, Mr. Speaker, all your team for their support and friendship over 14 out of the last 16 years, and also my staff up in Cheshire, in Edinburgh and Crewe and Nantwich, my previous seat, Ros, Dan, Lynn, Joel, Amy, and quite a few others who came before then, including Sean, who has just recently got on the candidates list, and I suspect has a reasonable chance of finding a seat, as we still have about 100 or so seats to find one. So if he does, I wish him and his campaign extremely well, as I do for my own candidate successor, Afra Brandreth, who will be standing in the new seat of Chester South and Edinburgh, who is a first-class candidate, and I very much hope that she'll be able to join colleagues here after the general election. I give way.
Right, honourable and learned friend, for giving way, because with characteristic modesty, if I may say, he hasn't mentioned his own very significant contribution, both on the Justice Committee, as a minister, and the contribution that he has made and his family have made to the justice system, because everybody knows the work that he has done personally, his brother and his father, to deal compassionately and humanely with those who go through the prison. They are absolute role models, and he's an absolute role model. I'm deeply grateful to him for his friendship and support. We wish him all the very best for the future.
Well, I'm extremely grateful to my honourable and learned friend. I probably now have to declare my interests that are on the register, not least my brother's chairmanship of the Prison Reform Trust, but they're all for all to see. And it is true that there is clearly a gene in the Timpson family that makes us want to reach out beyond our own family to help others, whether that's through fostering, helping ex-offenders into work. And that's something that, beyond Parliament, I want to continue to do. And just finally then, Mr Speaker, can I, in the same way that the new member for Blackpool South, who I congratulate on a really excellent maiden speech, it took me back to mine in 2008, and it's a nerve-wracking moment, but he delivered it superbly, and I wish him him and his family all the very best. I had a very young child when I first came into Parliament. Actually, I also had another young child when I came into Parliament again. Obviously it's a route to success into this place. So I want to thank my own family, my late mother Alex, my father John, for all their inspiration and guidance that they've given me, my wife Julia, my 4 children Sam, Elizabeth, Lydia and Nell. I hope they're going to see a bit more of me now, and I hope that that's the right thing to do.
The question is, as on the order paper, as many of that opinion say aye.
Aye.
The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.